welcome to the family with
Andy Brandt Bernard.
Now, Catherine will be here. Alex will also be here, but she's bringing the kids with her. Fawn and Sage are going to be part of the show. So, I suppose whenever you're bringing family on stuff, you're not going to get here on time. Is that just what it is?
Seems to be.
I guess that's what it is. But yeah, they'll all be here soon enough. I'm sure. Boy, I don't know what it was, Andy. This morning on the way in, I don't know, 7:30 in the morning, I guess. I was on the road. But the driving has gone crazy in this state. What is wrong with the drivers?
It's been like that ever since COVID.
Oh, it's COVID that started a whole deal?
People got used to the roads being empty, so they decided to just go Mad Max, and they never reverted back to normal humans.
But what's amazing to me about the whole situation is that you got people driving 85 in a 55, but you also have people driving 40 in a 65.
You sure do.
It's like, what? And then they just literally, they may signal, they may not. They just pull over whether there's a spot to get into or not. I don't really understand. I mean, I'm surprised that there's not a lot more accidents because they just wedge themselves in there. They don't wait for an opening. What happened? COVID, you think, huh?
That is what I think. Well, let's see. Maybe there are more accidents. Let's see here, because you can see. I just want to see the 2023, etc. numbers. 2023, 22, and 21. Oh, of course, they're documents I have to download because, it's a government site. Can't update that too often.
Oh, no, you can't be doing that. No, that takes some effort.
All right, 2020. How many fatalities do we have? We had 394 fatalities in 2020.
Really? 400 almost.
We had 488 in 2021.
So even though most people were staying at home.
2022, 444. So it went down a little bit in 2022.
Okay.
2023, 411. So it's
down again.
Trending toward down, I suppose. Let's see. January, February, March compared to this. Oh, this year is way worse than last year.
That's what I thought.
Holy crap, like doubled.
What?
Yeah. 2023, January, we saw 15 fatalities. This year, we've seen 30 in January.
Twice as many.
February, it was 17. Now it's 26.
Jesus.
March was 16. Now it's 27. So, yeah, there is definitely something going on there. There's a ton of fatalities.
No, man, I honest to God did notice the driving is horrendous here right now.
Much worse all of a sudden.
But what drives that? Because we went to, 3 years of COVID, and we're in what are we, 4 or 5 years out of the beginning of it now?
4.5.
4.5.
I mean, the fact that it's such a sudden jump.
Cough up. Nana's not here yet. A hug. I get to squeeze a noggin on a kid.
Sage is here if you're listening.
And here's Fonny. Here's Fonny too.
Get out of my way.
Get out of my. I'm hugging the children. Oh, he's tackling her. I can't hold on. Your children are tackling one another.
Stop.
They do that.
I just think I wish I could see you guys more often because it's only been like 5 straight days now.
That's true. You've been seeing them quite a bit lately.
We miss you guys when we're on the road and we don't see you, except for the Disney World. I think it's hilarious.
No, it isn't.
It's not hilarious? It's not funny in the least?
Yeah,
right,
no, it's not.
Okay, it's not funny. We'll move on from there.
No.
Did you have fun last night? I was telling everybody on the morning show this morning about Wooden Hill, the brewery. Honest to God, Andy, you have got to go there. It is so good.
A brewery?
We love Wooden Hill. Well, it's a restaurant as well as a brewery.
As well as
and
a
they have
brewery.
really good food. They have very good food.
There's no sign at all that the grandkids love their bop bop. No sign. None whatsoever.
None at all.
I love having kids and grandkids. I love the fact that our family gets along so well. What are you socking me for?
Ended. I hate when it does this.
Okay. Now I'm going to have to push you down the stairs.
Okay.
Coming to get you.
And he wonders
All
why
right. Anyway,
he physically attacks himself.
My shoes.
What, honey? Oh, look at those new shoes you got. Those are snazzy. Where'd you get those?
Oh, I just found them today, and then I asked my mom
Oh, so you bought him some shoes today?
No, he's had those for a while. I
Oh,
ordered
okay.
them a while ago, but they were too big.
She bought them like 1 year
There
ago,
she
2
is.
years ago.
Could we put a Sage on camera and he's digging in his butt like that?
No,
She says, no, we
can't put him on
can't.
camera anytime. No, thank you.
Is
Sage.
our situation...
Sage, no. Sage, no. Sage, no. Seriously,
Don't
I
think
don't
he's
want.
gonna listen.
Block his face, Dad.
Oh, that's right. You don't want him on
I
camera.
do not.
Okay, you got to move on, honey. Yeah, we can come back. Oh, and then he's ducking under the things to make sure you can
Cover
see
it
his
with your
face.
face or it's your hand. Your hand is as big as his face.
But he won't let
Perfect
me.
size. Sage, seriously.
Why?
Oh, there's
Stop.
puppies in here now.
See, Jude's
Oh,
here.
now you get to go hug Nana. There you go. She doesn't want him on camera though, which that's fine. But it's great. Let me ask you a question about this. Okay, we were just talking about this, and I want to continue that, and then we'll get into the kid thing and the family thing.
The kid thing.
The family thing.
He's back.
Andy and I were just talking about my drive in this morning. It was just horrendous. People on 100 driving either 40 miles an hour or 80 miles an hour. Nothing in between. They're forcing their way in instead of waiting for an opening to change lanes. They force their way in now. When they exit, I have seen people cross 3 lanes of traffic to exit. No, they're not listening.
Nope.
I'm trying to listen. I don't know.
She has to.
There we go.
She has to get her camera going.
Got to get all that stuff.
I'm-
Nana's got to get her camera going.
Yeah, I was on Florida time today. I was like, oh my gosh, it's 9:45.
Oh my, 9:45.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I was just on Florida time.
It happens.
It all
Sorry.
works
I
out.
was on get a moth out of my car time.
You.
I heard that.
Yeah, we sat in
Was it a big
the
one?
car. No, it wasn't bad. We sat in the car and Sage was like, there's a moth in the car. Remember? You had to get the moth out?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah.
That's what made us late.
Oh, that's what made you late. Okay.
Well, yeah, I had to get the moth out of the car.
Should we shut the door or keep it open?
So we can keep it open. It's fine. They're not going to be. I'm making them do. I'm like, do something
There
fun
we
for
go.
30 minutes and then come back and talk to me.
Okay.
Nothing wrong. There's a lot of fun to have in there. Will they open those 2 boxes that are in there of the rice cakes so they can eat the rice
I don't
cakes?
think they'll open boxes. No,
Okay, good.
Well, they might ask.
they might ask, and I'll be like, sure, because they're
Tom.
rice cakes, and why
Yep.
not?
I'm wearing stripes. Does it anger you?
Why would it anger me?
Every time you see somebody in a striped outfit, you're like, what are they? A prisoner? You just get.
I wear stripes all the time.
I know. I like stripes too. You just hate stripes. This one lady, we were walking around.
Anti-stripe.
This one woman was wearing a striped jumper, full pants and all that stuff. And he's like, that's the ugliest outfit.
Well, it was the black and gray. It looks like she was in prison.
I
okay.
just thought it was stripes in general.
all
no,
stripes.
Like you don't like hats, you don't like stripes.
I wear my hat right now.
No, but I mean hats you don't like.
I do too. I like you in a hat. You look great in hats.
Okay, well you've changed your tune. You used to
Oh,
hate hats.
here we go. Now, let's get to the negative Tom news.
No, I'm just saying. I was like,
Jesus,
oh my God, I want to wear this shirt, but I wonder if Tom will be mad.
No, it's a very nice shirt for a
Good.
prisoner.
Thank you.
Anyway, Andy and I did some research because on the way in this morning, like I said, people driving 40, people
Yeah.
driving 80.
Yeah.
They forced their way in. I saw a guy cross 3 lanes, to get off the highway.
Yeah, that's always fun.
That's a thrill. But Andy then started doing some research from 2021, 2022, 2023, and this year.
Right.
The deaths are way up this
Oh,
year.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's a big it's like just a sudden massive spike. I'm wondering, it's so sudden that I'm wondering if it's because of the legalized weed.
Oh.
Really? You
I
think?
mean,
I
well,
don't know. I mean, people were
driven,
smoking
yeah.
tons of weed before it was illegal.
yeah, but now they're doing it like I think its usage is way up.
Well, and isn't it true that they don't have any field test other
Yep,
than like
there is no field test.
Yeah.
doing the balancing and the
Yep.
know for like alcohol, you've got the breathalyzer. Why can't they have a breathalyzer for weed?
There's
I mean,
Dave's
it
talked about it
definitely
before. There's
stinks.
just
Test.
so what When was weed legalized?
In Minnesota?
I'm looking
Wasn't
at
it
the
like last
stats.
August or
Not
something?
yeah, not that long ago.
I feel like it was last August.
Well, there was
or
medical
something.
weed for a long time.
Yeah, and it's all like hemp based.
The medical?
Just all weed that's legal in Minnesota has to be hemp based.
Oh, what's the difference?
I have no idea. I just know that that's a thing.
Yeah, I don't know anything
Okay.
about that.
I don't know.
No clue.
But Andy, would you just do that comparison 2023 to 2024? It is unbelievable the first few months of the year.
Yeah. So 2023 January had 15 fatalities. In
That's-
2024 January had 30.
Twice as many.
February went from 17 to 26. March went from 16 to 27. April was pretty close, 22 to 24.
Oh, there you go.
But so the first 3 months out of the year, fatalities almost doubled, which is very, very unusual.
So what do you guys think that's all about? Why are the fatalities doubling this year?
Well, I think it's because, during COVID, the only people that were there were literally drag racing on every highway.
Oh, they
That's
were.
They were
That's what
drag
I said,
racing in
because of
every
COVID, yep.
suburb.
Yep.
Yeah.
Suburb. They were in the city, everywhere it was even populated. Fawn, Jude is looking for stuff. Can you make sure he doesn't eat anything he's not supposed to?
No,
Thank you,
eating.
honey. Okay. So there's food, but it's up on the table. All right, sorry. And I remember when we first we were always recording. We worked right through COVID.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
sure
we
did.
took like 2 or 3 weeks off or something
If
when we were
that.
all going to die. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all a blur.
Anyway, and I just remember people speeding down Highway 100 like
Yep.
they were
Yep.
going 110.
They were.
And
yeah.
there were no
were.
cops
Nobody
out
was,
because all
yeah.
the government systems were just shut
Mhm.
down. They were just shut down. So I think that people just got used to driving like maniacs. And then in Minnesota, you've got the people that are going below the speed limit. And I think that most of our highway systems are pretty inadequate for the population.
Probably now, yeah.
Yeah, they
Yep.
like they finally expanded 100, which is a very close in highway. It's very busy, to 3 lanes. And it's not nearly enough.
No.
And I just think that if you've got people going below the speed limit and people going 15 to 20 miles above the speed limit, you're just going to get into really bad accidents.
Yep.
Yeah, but I just couldn't believe how bad the driving. I mean, we've been back for a week and the driving has been horrendous. People just cutting people off, riding your ass like there's no tomorrow. They're right on your bumper.
Well, I think that describes driving everywhere
Yeah,
now.
probably now it is everywhere.
I mean, really.
Yeah, it really was so noticeable today. I wanted to ask, and I asked Annie, and we were both shocked that the deaths are way up this year. And we didn't have any snow or ice this year in January,
that usually
February,
does
March.
affect that a lot.
So think about that, Andy. You take the ice and the snow away,
That's true.
and that's doubled in some months. It basically is the same as quadrupling because the streets were clear.
Well, the deadliest months by far are actually the summer months in Minnesota.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, when everybody's off at school and all that,
Mhm.
Oh,
I'm sure that's
Well,
the
and
sort
people
of-
it seems like people drink a lot more in the summer.
Yeah, they
well,
do.
yeah, and a lot of teenagers seem
Yeah.
they seem to get into very serious car wrecks too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, in the summertime.
Mhm.
So just watch it on the highway because, man, it's very deadly right now, and I don't want you getting hurt. No question
Yes,
about that.
That's a good PSA.
No doubt.
Mhm.
Before you got here, Catherine, I was doing a promo for Wooden Hill Brewery, which we had such a good.
That was so good.
Wasn't it?
Glad
Yeah.
you liked it. I was like,
The,
it's a bit of a gamble because sometimes you go there and it's packed.
Yeah,
I was
can
like-
see that.
They won't like it if it's going to be packed and seating's difficult and blah blah blah. But there was like the perfect amount of people there.
yeah, it was really
yesterday.
nice. They've got chicken wings that are very close to the Monte Carlo chicken wings.
Yeah,
very
true.
close.
Yep.
I do like those.
Yeah, and you don't have to go downtown and deal with parking to get them. The Monte Carlo, and they had what's the jerk chicken wing, which we didn't have, but those sound
Oh, yeah.
delicious.
Oh yeah, it does. It sounds really,
And then
really good.
they've got standard buffalo wings, and there was another one too, but I can't remember what it was.
It was funny because I brought it up this morning, and Tevin, first thing he sees on the menu as he's looking it up online, Oh my God, they have pepperoni hot honey pizza.
That's what you
That's
had.
what you had.
It was
Hot honey?
phenomenal.
Hot honey, spicy honey.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't super
No,
spicy.
there
though.
wasn't
No,
like Fawn
not
and
at all.
Sage ate it and didn't. Say
No, I
that
was
it
kind of
spicy.
I was expecting it to be spicier.
Yeah.
But
Fawn did think it was spicy though.
She was joking when
Oh,
she
she
did
was
it. She was,
joking?
yeah,
she was
she
like,
Oh.
carrying on for fun.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
but
then Dan swears that they're top 5 burger in the whole Twin
you
Cities
might have
area.
to shut the door. They're having too much fun out there.
Well, do people care if there's giggling children?
All right, that's
I
fine.
don't think anybody cares.
Keep it open. That's fine. You know,
Stop having fun,
Yeah.
no
How could
fun
you?
of any kind.
Yeah.
rotten kids.
I don't remember ever going to the the printing company when my dad was there running around. I was never invited.
Geez. Well, the
I would
workplace
hope
was
not, yeah.
the workplace was sort of
Yeah.
not like it is today.
No, that's
It
very
was very
true.
serious. You showed up, you had to wear a suit, you had to be very, it was very different world.
But the great thing about it is, and the reason I even want to talk about it is because this is like we've been back for I think 7 days, and I believe we've seen Fawn and Sage 6 of the 7 days,
Yes.
which is
Quite a bit.
terrific.
Probably.
And then when Ethan came over,
Mayhem.
he realized that grandparents were there,
Mhm.
parents were there, Fawn and Sage were there.
Oh,
He went berserk. It was hilarious.
yeah.
It was just
Sage
phenomenal.
and Ethan were rough and tumbling like crazy. I didn't think that Sage would play like that, but Ethan was on top of him, rolling around on him, putting
But he
pillows
plays,
on
no,
top
he plays
of him.
like that because like Henrik and Anders, our nephews, are they wrestle a ton.
Oh, okay.
And so Sage can like wrestle
Oh,
and
okay.
get that way with them. But yeah, it's not his first
Oh,
because
well.
he has an older sister.
Because
That
you're uphill.
That you were playing with Ethan. That Ethan was rough and tumbling with you.
What did he say?
Fawn wants me to mention that she
Oh.
can almost do a back handspring.
Oh, cool.
Getting very, very. Oh,
We were watching Simone Biles.
She just broke some record with.
Oh,
yesterday.
Well, I don't know what's
What was
going
it?
on, why they're doing something. Is this like the Olympics
It's like the Olympic
qualifying?
trials,
Okay.
isn't it?
Simone Biles is made out of, I don't even know.
I know she's
Flubber. I don't know.
superhuman.
She can jump.
But she's so strong.
She can jump so
Okay.
high.
it's amazing.
Michael sent me Simone Biles wins record extending 9th all around national title at the U.S. Gymnastics Championships.
She,
Nice.
I mean, she does this thing. She was on the balance beam. She squats down on one leg.
Yeah, and the other leg's extended
Other
to
leg
the
is
side.
extended, and then she spins around like 500 times.
She spinned around like 4 times.
It's like,
and
what?
Landed it. I
How
know.
do you do that? And then she did that on her floor exercise too. She just did that like just.
Yeah, and then
standing
when
there.
she does stuff in the
Okay,
air,
but where does she
she's
get the
like-
momentum when you just squat down and stick a leg out?
because she's all muscle.
There's something ungodly about that woman. She's just too good.
phenomenal.
She's
No
too good.
question.
Built for that.
Yeah, she is
Exact thing.
exceptionally amazing.
She really is. Every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah.
It was something to watch. But it was a really nice night. And whenever the family goes out to have dinner, and Alex and Dan were the ones that knew about this and recommended we go there, and it was terrific. It was really, really a good situation, and those two were just losing it, which is
Now they're wrestling because we mentioned wrestling. I think. I think they're
probably true.
listening to us.
Probably true, but I mean that's one of the things that's so great getting back home. We have seen Fawn and Sage pretty much every day. We've only seen
Sure.
Ethan a couple of times now, but he was so excited to have the whole family around him. Is
Andy? How excited was Ethan? He was so excited
Very.
he couldn't go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and then he woke up at 4 a.m.
Oh God!
Yep.
Oh God!
Well, he's been doing that every day, right? Like 5:45.
Yeah, pretty much.
4:45.
Yep.
My kids never went through that.
We haven't
I think-
gotten real sleep in a week.
I think you're getting payback for how well he slept as a baby.
He did sleep very, very well as a baby.
Oh,
That was nice.
well, and you guys you had a lot of gadgets and gizmos.
They helped.
Yeah, they definitely do. If you have all
Oh
the
yeah, all
things.
these rocking bassinets and shaking, rocking.
Yeah, they like
Yep.
perfect
jiggle and shush and
Whatever,
do all
yeah,
things
whatever
and
you
swaddle
need.
them at the same time. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh yeah, that swaddle thing. That's a very. That's
Yeah,
nice.
those
I used to
things are-
swaddle with a blanket, but now you have special swaddle things.
Yeah, that are like Velcro.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can just use a blanket.
My kids never. Fawn likes.
Okay, you guys.
Yeah, we need
you're
to
getting
close the
too
door.
loud.
It's being too.
I'm gonna have to shut the door. Okay. You can play, but we're gonna have to shut the door. Love you.
You can open it whenever you
Bye.
want.
It is quite loud.
They're
There's
very
no
excited.
doubt.
They're
Well,
very excited.
but it gets
Well,
to the
they're out of school for the first time this week.
but it also gets to the point that I wanted to make by bringing up the whole thing in the first place. That I think that if all families got along like our family gets along, whether it's Nana and Bop Bop or Andy and his family or Alex and her family, if all families got along 3 generations like we do, and I'm not saying there was any design, we just do, right? I think people would have a lot easier time going out into the world dealing with other people if they knew they got this love and support at home. Don't you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't get along with everybody. I mean, I had 3 brothers and a sister.
Right.
And they have their things, but you just have to tolerate their things. You just
Well, yeah,
can't be
that's
like,
it's a,
oh,
Yep.
well, he feels this way politically, so I hate
I'm
his
gonna
guts
be mad.
and
Yeah.
wish he would die. It's like, no, well, you just don't do that to people. I mean, I don't think we should do that to anybody,
No, I
much less
agree.
family
Well,
members.
because
I
here's the
agree.
thing. I'm like, there's not a single person in the world that you're going to agree on everything.
No.
And people are going to, I mean, it is
So you
amazing
just-
if you look at my family, the differences in how people behave and think about things.
Hmm.
And we all were raised in the same household with the same parents. It's like, how did we all get so far apart on so many things?
Yeah.
It's just amazing. I had one brother was like a dedicated hippie that didn't want to pay for anything and didn't want to, was anti-government and hates cops and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
God is dead and there never was a God. And then I've got a very conservative, loves America, is all
Yep.
about law and order. And I mean, it's like, how did
Oh, the
this
same
happen?
family. Yeah, same family.
Within
Yep.
10, well, and within,
Yep.
let's see, 6 years of being born too. It was not like there was a
Well,
huge gap.
Right.
Dan and his brother Mike, they're twins.
Very
And
dissimilar.
different people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Extremely different
It's
people.
just so I mean that's just how I don't know when we turned into this species that think that everybody has to think like us
Yep.
uh,
Right.
Yep.
or they're evil. It's just this has gotten us nowhere fast, this kind of thinking. So I mean, yeah, you need to just your family has had their rifts. I mean, you've got people in your family, Tom, that just will not tolerate anybody's difference of opinion.
I haven't spoken to my sister in 20 years?
Yeah, they just will not do it and they will not speak to anybody. It's
Yeah.
just like, whatever.
Well, yeah, I was talking to a friend about that, like I said, the other day, and I was just like, if it's somebody that's in your life, that has to be in your life.
Yeah.
They're related to you in some way, or they
Mhm.
work with you, or whatever. I'm like, they're not going to change because you don't like the way that they are.
Right.
You can change how you react to them, though. Like you're responsible for dealing with it in a way that doesn't upset you because
Right.
it's something that you're going to have to deal with.
Well, and isn't that emotional maturity?
Because like it's easy to be like, I don't like you. You
Yeah.
bother me.
Right. Yeah, I've had to work with people that I've absolutely loathed.
Yeah.
But I had to have this job and it was a good job, paid well, hours were good for me. I just put up with it.
Yeah. And if it is hard sometimes, like I've had a person in my life that I have had a very difficult time dealing with.
Well, sometimes it's
Very difficult time dealing with. And I'm like, but it's somebody that's in my life and I've had to put up with this person. And I'm like, I would sit there and be like, why can't I just not care about how this person interacts with me? I
Mhm.
just have such a hard time, just pushes your buttons, just perfectly. And then one day I just kind of was, oh my gosh, this child.
He just won't stop. He wants to be on camera,
Yes,
apparently.
he does.
Oh, fun. Nice.
I found it. That's good.
And then one day I was like, I'm just going to talk to this person about the fact that they drive me crazy and I have a very difficult time dealing with them and I want to be able to deal with them. And
Yes.
ever since then I've been like, okay, whatever. I've said my piece.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to clear the air. And sometimes there are such toxic people that you can't.
Yes, this person is, I mean, there would be things and I would just be dumbfounded. Like, how is this something that a person would be like, this is a good idea to say,
Yeah.
or some,
Right.
just
And I mean, I'm not talking about you need to tolerate,
No,
abuse
no.
Yeah,
or,
no, yeah.
or
Yeah.
self-destructive behavior
Yeah.
or something that
there's
draws
definitely
you into.
you have to have boundaries.
You do have to have boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah, but you can have boundaries and still have a relationship.
Yes.
Like
Or
I,
you c- like there
I
are-
know people. It's like when they go down the rabbit hole of politics.
dear.
I just go, oh, you know what? I'm at my destination. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Or I've got to go. I just can't.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want to listen to it, and I'm not going there.
Well, I mean, yeah, there are people in my life, Dad, that have
Oh, here we go.
that go on rants about things, and I'll just be like, "Oh, yeah,
Sometimes
okay."
people need to rant.
And then I'll either walk away or change the subject because I'm just like, "You do what you need to
I
do."
don't ever rant.
Like,
never.
like 75% of the time you're ranting.
75% of the time, yes.
I have another question. Is the sun ever going to shine again?
It was shining yesterday. We
Was
were at
it?
a pool.
Oh, that's right.
It's
beautiful.
Well,
Oh,
every
cloudy
morning I
tonight.
wake up and it's gray and raining, and
We have had so much rain.
We have.
Yeah. Well, we've had
It's
Since we got
wild.
here.
We
Well,
live
Minnesota
in a,
has to
we
have
live in
rain.
a rainforest. Well, yeah, we were in a drought all winter,
Of course.
technically.
We came
So
back
we-
and back
Which,
to rain.
but I will say, it hasn't been raining all day every day. It's been raining and then the
That's
sun
true.
comes out. So it's really not.
That's
I
true.
wouldn't complain.
I just don't like waking up to gray.
Yeah, it makes it harder to wake up when
Yes,
it's
it
gray
does.
outside for
It
sure.
makes it harder for me to get motivated too.
Yeah,
It's like there's just not enough coffee to offset gray days for me.
that's why you just have to.
You know, it's hilarious.
Make
You
it
know,
happen.
this what are the coffee places again? There's
Starbucks?
Caribou.
yeah, Caribou. I went by the one on Vernon Avenue.
Yeah.
About a block long line of cars. It's like, holy
I know.
Oh,
Gray
yeah.
days. You need a lot of coffee
Oh,
to make
I-
it through a gray day.
I worked at a Caribou in high school,
You
and
did, yeah.
certain times of the
Yep.
morning, it was. I think it was the first one to have a drive-through.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
God.
Out in Rogers?
Yeah.
How progressive.
I think it was the first one, or it was one of the first ones, if not the first one, to have a drive-through. And there were, certain times it was like between 6:30 and 8:30 in the morning. It was just
Sure.
like
People going to
all
work, yeah.
hands on deck.
Mhm.
Yeah, because everybody's going into work and they're getting their coffee, and
I just remember you
everybody's-
smelled like coffee beans for like your every time you had a shift, your car smelled like coffee
Mhm.
beans. It's not a bad smell.
No, it's not a
but
bad
it was
smell.
very
No.
strong.
It was very strong.
Well, coffee beans are very, but you were handling them with your hands. They're very oily. I
yeah,
was
you
thinking,
handled. I mean, well, you dealt with coffee beans, making different.
Don't just
espresso
pour it into a
things.
thing. You're not.
No, you have to
really
like
touching it
put
with
the
your hands.
You're not touching with your hands, no, but you're scooping the espresso into the
Oh, I
thingy
suppose
and putting it in the
dust gets all
machine and-
over.
there's
Yeah, you
you're
really just-
surrounded by
yeah.
you're grinding beans for people.
It's much better
you're-
than my high school job smelling
Yeah.
like Kentucky Fried
I was
Chicken.
gonna say like
Yeah.
fried
Ugh.
I would
chicken,
rather smell like coffee than Kentucky
Oil.
Fried Chicken
canola oil,
or whatever oil. It was
Yeah,
in there.
whatever. Vegetable oils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to kind of wrap this whole thing up, I just want to say that our advice to you is try to get your family to come together if they're not together. Because I think, like I said, I have a sister I haven't talked to in 20 years. I didn't see my brother for about 15 years, but it all works out. What are you smiling about?
Get your family to come together. I haven't talked to my sister in 20
Well, that wasn't
years.
I'm just saying.
That wasn't his choice. And
No, I
he's,
know,
he's
I know,
reached
I know,
out to
I know.
her too.
Yeah,
I
no,
have.
He's
it's
reached
just,
out
it
to
was
her
just
several
kind of a funny transition.
And it's all based on politics. That's the part of it that pisses me off the most. We have different political views. I find hers extreme in every way. I can kind of consider myself to be very centrist. I can lean a little bit either way, depending if you got good news or not. But I just think if the family unit is separated even more and more and more, like our society is trying to push anyway, that it's going to get worse. That people are very mean to one another. People hate one another. If you don't agree with me, I now hate you.
Well, how many comedians did we used to have in that were like, you all get along?
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
They
I
were
know.
shocked that we all got along.
That's true. Well, I mean, but comedians are pretty famous for coming from messed up homes.
That's
so
true too. Yeah.
There is that.
That's true.
So I won't hang on
She's
this too
working,
long.
honey.
Sure is.
What do you need?
Can you what? Sure.
Hmm.
And it's really like white.
Well, 8
I'll
of the
have
9
to
of
the
us.
sage
I'll have to look
whispering
at what you're
show.
talking about. I don't know.
What does he want?
We're almost done,
Wants to
sweetie.
bring a box of
I think. What
20
time is it?
minutes.
No,
Oh,
I
we have
don't
20
You
minutes.
still got 20 minutes to go.
Well, that's not that long. I guess in kid world, 20 minutes is forever.
Once again, and I'd always bring up the fact that I was raked over the coals for asking people to come together 20 years ago when that stuff happened and was called every name in the book for doing it. Well, the world's going to get worse unless we come together. Doesn't mean we have to agree on everything.
Well, once I don't know, maybe people are waking up to the fact that they're being manipulated by the politicians.
Yes, absolutely.
And maybe that can help.
I'm hoping, but
I
I
don't
love this family dearly. There's no question about it. I loved my mother and my brothers and sisters, but this family, well, like I said, we just got home. This is the 6th day in a row we've seen our grandchildren, which I love. It's not like, oh God, we have to hang out with them again. I love being around them. Their excitement when Ethan gets that excited just to be part of the family. And that's what he was excited about.
And he goes home and it's Andy and Melissa's problem.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the great thing about
Sure is.
The fact that he
grandkids.
doesn't sleep is his problem. There's no question about it.
It's definitely.
But let me point this out, that since he was born, he was adored by Fawn and Sage both.
Yeah.
They love that. I mean, don't you see that, Alex?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just terrific that Fawn and Sage really love Ethan, and especially Fawny, because she's 8 years old. She's already got mama complex.
Mama complex.
It's like, I'm in charge of Ethan because I'm the woman. I mean,
I think it's just
I
because
don't
she's
think
the
it's-
oldest.
Yeah. I think
well,
it's just 'cause
that
she's
might
the
be part of
oldest.
it, but anyway, I'll be quiet and we'll move on. But I just love the fact that we all get along, we can be together, and there are very different people in our family. There's no question about that. Very different people, but we all get along. We don't all like the same things. We don't do the same things, all the rest of it. But when we get together, we don't sit around and argue with one another and act like a-holes, right?
Not generally.
We try not to.
Sometimes.
We have Wendy on the phone.
Wendy, what's the latest?
Hey, welcome back, y'all.
That's
Hey, how you
nice.
doing?
Really nice.
Not too shabby. I'm hanging out here in the Bat Cave, aka my home office. Things is working. Well, you know, I think one of the things I really like about my home office, because I work a hybrid schedule, is that I can control the temperature, the light, the noise, all of that. And at work, not so much.
Right.
So yeah, I keep it cool and dark. So my daughter calls it the Bat Cave.
Bat Cave.
Mm-hmm. But I was listening to what you're talking about with like family members that were, you know, arguing or whatever.
Mhm.
I honestly think that, you know, because there are some people in my family I do not agree with one teeny tiny bit.
Right.
But, you know, I think I'm an adult enough to know
Right.
that, number one, trying to argue with them to make them think like me is
Impossible.
useless.
Right.
And, you know, these people are only going to be in your life for a finite amount of time. It's like, you know, they're your family. And even if they don't think like you do, I mean, they're your family. So I'm like, okay, just stick to topics that don't run that gauntlet. And I know that there's a couple of people, well, there's one person I can think of right now, cannot help themselves. No matter what, they always have to just, you know, just get everybody all going. And it's like,
Yep.
so I told my mother,
Yep.
I said, you know, you do not have to invite this person to every single family event, because a lot of other people are going to stop coming just because they are bad for the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so she stopped inviting them, and yeah, family events have been great.
Well, I have a brother that likes to whip people up too, and I actually talked to him about it. I said, "Could you just not come to Christmas anymore?
Yeah.
You upset everybody. You're always late, like an hour and a half late, not just 15,
Right.
20 minutes late, but an hour and a half late. Somebody has, you know, spent probably 2 to 3 days cooking and preparing a meal. We're all, you know, in the same situation. We all have children, we all have dogs, we all have things, and we're there on time.
Mhm.
And when you come an hour and a half late, it seems disrespectful. And it also makes everybody, you know, eat food that's overcooked now or cold. And it's just, I don't know why you have to do it. So
there are some people I've noticed that they want everybody else to follow them, Like they feel like they're not being heard. And so everybody else, they want to do something to kind of shake things up so people have to pay attention. But that's totally rude.
It is. It's very rude. And anyway, and he was just completely taken aback by that. It's like he didn't even realize what he was doing.
Oh, wow.
And he started showing up much closer to the time we were gathering, and he stopped. And one time at our house, we had a Christmas gathering with the family, and I put on a note on the door. We're not talking about religion or politics. If you have to, just don't come in.
We had to tell one of our family members that, or I did, because I'm like, listen, you got to stop this, because she'll never tell you this, but it really is stressful on my mother, And I mean, you can't, what we've been doing is I'll go, my mom will ask if it's okay if I show up a little early. So I come like an hour and a half before everybody else does, just
to help.
She's at an age where it's really hard for her to get all that done.
Yeah, it is a lot.
I don't mind it. I love to cook. I don't mind, the food prep, getting stuff ready. And Caitlin and I come down early and we help her get through all that. And I just think if she had to do that herself and have the people who just cannot shut up at these things, it's like, let's make this happy. She's not going to be here forever. Let's enjoy the time that we have.
There you go.
Absolutely.
But see, once again, that shows emotional maturity, and it shows that you think of others and that you're capable of empathy. And I don't know.
Come on, you've met me, Catherine. Come on, hey.
I know, but I'm just like, gee, why can't people just put their own little squabbles aside for 3 hours?
Well, it's probably like, I'm a big hockey fan. And so, you go on, and I follow some on Instagram, and you look at the, God forbid, you look at the comments. There are some, no matter what sport it is, I just happen to, read the hockey ones. There are some of the most rude, horrible people you have ever seen. It's like, why are you talking like this about that person? You don't know them, and, they lost a game and you're talking to them like this? Jeez.
Lashing out like a child again.
It's like, be supportive, It's like they're feeling bad enough that they lost. Don't make it worse.
Do you think that social media caused a lot of these family breakups because everybody thinks they know everything now because they read it on social media or the internet?
Not 100%, but it's at least 80%.
It definitely doesn't help.
Before the internet, I still had some really obnoxious family.
Yeah, absolutely. No. We do, yes.
But yeah, the internet, it's just the social media, it whips people up like, oh, look what I found on this. Look what I found on this. Look what I found. And my mother is sometimes guilty of that, and I rue the day I ever taught her how to use Facebook.
That was a big mistake. He's on camera again.
Yeah, I got off of Facebook after when the Trump-Biden election was going on, because I just was like, what is wrong with people? They are actually acting like the end of the world is nigh.
Yep.
I'm really good at using the block and mute feature, but I have family that's spread out where if I didn't have them on Facebook, I wouldn't be able to communicate with them or see them quite as easily.
Right.
So it's like, well, and I don't really do that much on it. Like I'll, as Officer Dave will tell you, I post, whenever I cook or something, and I make him, he says, every time you post these food pictures, I get more and more hungry. Like, come on over.
Yeah, absolutely.
I post a lot of food pictures, and then, I'm in this fun chat group on, with some of you Hanyaks out there that are on Chatsy right now. Not mentioning any names, Joe from Louisville, Charlie from Albuquerque. Yeah.
Chatsy?
It's our chat room.
That's your chat room.
Oh, that's our chat room.
It's the chat room we've been using for many years.
What's this new Instagram? Oh, sorry, Wendy.
No, that's okay.
What's the new Instagram when people are inviting me to get on an Instagram chat?
I'm not aware of any Instagram chats.
I think it's called Threads.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want another way of communicating. I'm sorry. There's just too many ways of communicating.
From what I understand, what I can figure out, Threads is the less offensive version of Twitter.
Right, basically. But it's also a
Yeah,
lot less
It's
popular.
Instagram's version of
Yeah.
Twitter.
Well,
Yeah, and
Instagram is
also-
still a Facebook corporation,
Yes.
so
So it's Facebook's Twitter, basically.
yeah, and
Mhm.
Well,
they've
I
been
just put a lot of
controlling the
pictures in my-
narrative on politics for many, many
Mhm.
years now. So
I
I
put
don't.
a lot of pictures of my dogs on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
My puppies.
I will tell you
Yeah.
this, after being off social media for 12, 13 years, maybe even 14 years, coming back on, I'm just on Facebook right now. I might have to, follow Trump and jump on TikTok now too.
TikTok.
He was
Trump's on
Yeah, no,
TikTok?
is a no-no.
He joined
No, no.
TikTok last night,
Oh,
apparently.
that's so stupid.
I thought he
agree.
wanted to ban TikTok.
That's what
when
I
he was
thought.
president.
That's
yeah,
what
no
I thought.
TikTok. That is just stupid as all get out.
But what I've noticed now is because as a public figure, you're going to get a lot of negative comments. It used
Oh,
to back in the
yes.
old days,
Sure.
but I don't ever see them because Facebook posts what they call most important posts are printed. They literally, and I didn't set it up that way. They just maybe whoever Andy, did you set up my Facebook?
That was mostly Melissa.
It was Melissa. Okay. Well, she literally, I don't ever see negative comments. Now, I don't know how that works or how she did it or whatever.
I think it works because you're not on KQ anymore.
Yeah, that
Well,
might have
there
something to
is
do with
that.
it. That's true.
That was a very polarized group.
Well, you sound a lot more relaxed now since you left Q too.
Yeah, there's no question
what I
about
mean?
it. Well, it was just,
You don't seem so stressed out like you used to be.
Well, also,
So it's good.
I was always looking forward to the day where we didn't have to live through ratings periods.
Mm.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Ratings periods are like the worst. And
I can imagine.
Yeah,
It's like
and
you're
they-
constantly being graded and people grade you on stuff where you have no control over.
well,
Mhm.
yeah, and it's also, they manipulate and massage the numbers now too. It's
Yes,
not
they
a
do.
true thing. So it was always just like whatever.
Well, I mean, it was a problem because, again, having the highest rated show in America, there was a lot of pressure. I mean, to keep a 35 share is a huge number. Back in the day when it was AM, a lot of stations had numbers that big because there were very few,
Right.
big time radio stations. But
Well, I think it's that KQ can't be controlled, or like that can't be controlled locally. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Right.
Instead of
Yeah.
being part of a larger
Yes.
conglomerate.
Yes.
I mean, I know that there's probably a lot of things that would make it, not fiscally prudent, but I mean, I'm sure it could be done. That way, I mean, they could have things like an hour or a couple hours at a certain part of the day that are strictly Minnesota music, or, little things that work on different radio stations in the
Yeah.
past.
Well,
Put them all together and just give it a community feel like
yeah.
that.
Ever since hedge funds started controlling absolutely everything about media, that's been a long time ago. Because it's like if you can get a local radio station to make, let's say, $10 million a year,
hmm
they're looking at, oh, well, we can have 1,000 stations, and look what we can make.
yeah,
Just nobody's ever had. And then if you do have a radio station, a local one, and somebody's making $10 million a year, they're going to come in and offer you $100 million so that they can
Yeah.
buy them all up, and you're going to have to say yes.
Captain, that kind of reminds me of when they do stuff like that. Okay, now I know like you and I are pretty close to the same age. Remember back in the day, then 70s, that commercial it was a shampoo and it said, and I told two friends and they told two friends
Yep.
and so on and so on and so on.
Yep.
It reminds me of that too. It's like, okay, we have this and this is good. Well, maybe we can give this many and then
Yep.
this many. And then it's
Yep.
like, sometimes if you just stick to what works, because the more you try to like
I know.
replicate that, it dilutes it.
I totally agree with you, but money just runs everything, right?
I know.
it
Sadly.
does.
And I know even better if I won the Powerball or something. But hey,
Yeah, that'd help.
I turned into a hermit with 100 acres, a house right in the middle, a moat, 10-foot fence. No, come to my house. No,
Lots of mean dogs.
no. Well, I'd have a bunch of crazy schnauzers. It'd be loud, but
Yeah, very loud.
Get off my land.
Yeah, I mean, what you guys are
Well-
talking about amazes me because you know who owns WCCO now?
George Soros.
George Soros.
Mm, Lovely.
No.
Which I don't
Yep.
understand how a political operative can own media companies.
And he's
Isn't
not
that a
even an
conflict of-
American.
Isn't that a conflict of interest?
You'd think.
You would think.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Well, if there's one thing that I've learned throughout my years in business, it is there's always a way around something.
Yeah.
Oh, schnauzers
Rough.
starting to vote.
Well,
Speaking of
apparently
schnauzers.
that means the mailman's here.
Oh.
That's what it
Gotta
is.
yell at
He
him.
might be- they're upstairs. He might be trying to murder us, you know.
You never
Yeah, I
know.
suppose.
I read somewhere that the reason why dogs bark at mailmen or whatever, or people in uniforms, is because when they come to the door and they bark, they go away.
Mm-hmm.
So the dog's trained, like,
You're
hey,
like,
I
aha.
just saved the whole house.
Yeah,
I
it
just
did.
saved it.
It worked.
Aren't you
Yeah.
glad that I'm here?
Mine totally lost their minds a couple of weeks ago, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was still working, and my daughter says, "Mom," 'cause she has her office upstairs. She says, "Mom, I think you better come up here." I'm like, "Uh-oh, what is it?" She goes, "How did the neighbor's dog get on our deck in the backyard?"
Ooh.
Well, apparently the neighbor's dog, from what I can tell, full-blooded pit bull, unaltered male,
Ooh.
Oh,
Um,
lovely.
Ooh.
must have wanted to. No, friendly as all get
Oh,
out.
really? Good.
Yeah,
Glad
well-
to hear it.
Yeah,
Trust
but
them.
he, unfortunately, the neighbors tend to tie him up to a tree when they're not home in the front.
gross.
And that poor little thing, well, he's not little, but that poor thing, he just, he barks a lot. And of course, mine bark a lot. So they talk to each other.
Mhm.
He went through our fence like the Kool-Aid man. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I called my husband. I'm like, hey, bring home some boards. Here's what's going on. So, and the dog was standing there just like wagging his tail like crazy, smiley. So, I grabbed a dog biscuit. I went out on the deck and, had a little chat with him. And he was just, my other dog was trying to stand on him. They weren't bothered by him at all. But he was just so friendly. And I took him for a walk, gave him some water because his water dish was tipped over and a little bit of food. And I didn't know what to do with him. So I had to chain him back up again. And I knew they'd be home, but we kind of always
The dog
watched.
is sitting in a chain all day long.
When they're gone.
Well, they're asking for a world of trouble, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
seriously.
You can't do
I
that
know. And
to,
if you
especially a
look at the
warrior
happy-
breed. They need to come
They
home
need
at lunchtime, and
exercise.
they need to exercise that dog, and they need to throw the ball around for the dog. They need to exercise that dog because those
Well, I
dogs need, especially an
I can't
unneutered male.
exercise them. It's an unaltered male
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah.
He
Ugh.
is like one
That's
of the
not-
sweetest, smiliest dogs.
Oh.
I don't know what it is, but he came right up to me, and I was just like,
That dog
"Don't
needs
show
to go to
fear! Don't
foster
show fear!
care.
Don't show fear!" And I kind of, I put my hand out, just down and out, just so he could smell it.
Mhm.
And he put his head underneath, like, "Okay, you pet me, pet me, pet me." So we know that he's not a danger to us. But I felt so bad,
Yeah,
and
that's
they
not
barked
cool.
loud at him because they wanted to go out and play.
I want to thank Wendy for calling in and all the other people who used to call in on the show. Please start doing that again because it's just great to have you guys call in. Wendy, thank you so much. We always have great content.
Yeah, we haven't had
I'm
a lot of callers
talking to
lately.
you guys too. Yeah, I mean it's really cool. I'm really happy that you guys have a show that it's great to listen to. It's friendly. It makes me feel good.
Thank you.
It provides happiness.
I'll call in more often,
Does it
sister.
spark joy?
Yes, that's what I was looking for. It sparks joy.
Sparks joy.
Thanks a lot, Wendy.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we'll close with this. What did he say?
He
Blah,
thought I,
blah,
he
blah,
thought I
blah,
said
blah.
goodbye to him.
Oh,
He's
goodbye,
carrying
Nana.
a box filled with packing peanuts around, and
Oh, he's got packing
Packing
peanuts.
yeah,
That'll be
peanuts.
good. That'll be a good thing.
You like your packing
and
peanuts?
there's
All right, here. Yep.
They're
Alex can wave
Alex will
goodbye
be
now.
back on. Well, I got one more story I want to run down.
Oh, okay.
And
Watch
then
out
we'll,
for
we'll
Jude,
hit the
please.
road. He's coming again. So you're gonna have to turn your camera off.
Oh, wait, that,
I'll just
You cannot come
Right.
over here. Your mom will get mad at me.
I can also just.
Cut the comedy. Okay, anyway, here's the deal. This is a true story about how people just do not care about one another anymore. And are we ever going to get over this? Did you hear about this delivery guy? This is true. Have you heard the story about the delivery guy that dropped off a package?
no.
I've heard a lot of
So I
that
was going to
story.
say
but
there's a lot
it's
of
a very
those.
boring story.
No, this
came
one's
up to
not
my
boring.
house, dropped off a
And then he
package
left, and
Would
that
you
was
let
that.
me do the show? You packing
Apparently he
peanuts.
won't.
Now, I'm not going to put
He's
my
gonna-
head in a
He
box.
said he's going to dump it on your head.
No, don't dump it
No.
on my head either.
No, not doing that.
All right, so here's the story. This is a true story. Amazon has a service for Prime members called In-Garage Delivery, where they'll open your garage door and put your package inside for $1.99, and they'll do it even if your house is on fire.
That seems
I'd rather
strange.
have them call the fire
Yeah.
department.
A family in Massachusetts was away from home on over Memorial Day weekend when they got a call their house was on fire. By the time they got back, a big chunk of the house had burned to the ground. They were having some work done on the house, and the fire was started by combustible materials that the workers left in a trash can next to the garage. So once again, already we have one person who did not protect the family because they just couldn't be bothered to protect the family, right?
Right.
One person could have helped out. The family was, God, you're such a hunyuck. The family was looking at some security footage, and they saw Amazon. Thanks for the packing, Peanut. And the fire was started by whatever. Would you leave me alone? I'm trying to do my job, you pill. Here's what happened, though. Okay, I'll get through this quickly because they want to go home. The house was on fire. He opened the garage door and put the package inside the garage, knowing the house was on fire, and left. Didn't report the house was on
Nice.
fire. Didn't try to help anybody. I mean, he didn't know if there's anybody at home or not. Put the package in the garage and drove away. The house, like half of it, burned to the ground. And by the way, as for the package that was safely delivered to the garage, it was destroyed by the fire.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, I would imagine so.
I mean, what is wrong with now? Once
Well,
again,
sometimes those Amazon carriers are just running and they're not paying any attention to anything.
well,
That's
but
true.
he knew the house was on fire. He said, "Oh, I know it was on fire." Yeah, he knew the house was on fire.
Probably shouldn't have admitted that.
Yeah.
But I mean, do we just not care? I'm too busy to care about the fact that your house is on fire, and if I do put the package in here, it's going to catch fire and be ruined.
Nobody wants to get involved with anybody anymore.
Nope.
Well, we got to do something about that. Once again, that's another thing we got to work on because this is ridiculous.
Agreed.
All right, are the kids coming in every day this week?
Every day I'm here, they will be here.
Oh, this is going to be great. That's just
Lovely.
wonderful.
It'll be boring after a while.
Yes, it'll be
No,
Yeah.
it'll be-
You're
it'll be
already
more
bored.
interest-
Would you stop trying to be on camera? Go away. Your mom
Very
will get mad at
longest listeners probably remember when Alex and I went in to KQ.
Yeah.
It was like right
Wow.
after Austin Powers came out.
Yes.
So we were quite
We
young.
were very little.
That was a very chaotic episode. We made sure of it.
Yes.
Yes, you did. It's true. Oh,
All right. He's keep.
Yeah,
sitting on
he's
camera. We
all
gotta
right.
get off.
Anyway, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks
All
for
right.
listening.
Bye.
Got a picture in my pocket reminds me of the flows before. Every time I hear the singing reminds me how you talking